Welcome to Wealth Wisdom. If you have ambitions to achieve financial success, please leave yes in the comment, and we are here to help you obtain insight and build wealth. The book we are going to share today is Emotional Intelligence Habits by Travis Bradberry. Catch those Z's. Sleep may seem like a bit of a non sequitur in a discussion about emotional intelligence. But the truth is, we perform worse across several metrics when we're sleep deprived than when we're drunk. Our ability to focus, regulate our mood, and access higher cognitive functioning all take a hit. Unfortunately, we need each of these things to operate with high EQ. Here are 5 simple, although not always easy, strategies to optimize your shut-eye. First, rise at the same time every morning. The power of your circadian rhythm is real, so it's smart to use it to your advantage. In today's technological age, most of us can benefit from an alarm and setting a regular bedtime. To find your sweet spot, work 7 to 9 hours back from when you plan to get up. As the day progresses, monitor your caffeine intake. It's an unpopular suggestion, yes, but keep in mind the half-life of caffeine. For every cup of coffee or can of energy drink consumed after lunch, 50% of the stimulant will remain in your blood by the time you wiggle into bed. As evening approaches, minimize your exposure to blue light. This means powering down phones, tablets, laptops, and TVs. If you can't escape using one of these devices, don a pair of blue light blocking glasses and turn on blue light filters. Tied to this is stepping away from work as close to the end of your business day as possible, something surveys have shown 60% of us frequently fail to do. Spend the moments leading up to bed with a guided meditation. In a study by the Stanford Medical Center, almost 2/3 of the insomniac sample reversed their symptoms simply by taking part in a 6-week mindfulness course. Finally, when you're ready to slide under the covers, try stripping down to your birthday suit. Lowering your skin temperature will lower the likelihood of you waking up in the night, and you'll also burn calories as your stores of brown fat activate to keep you warm. In addition to the well-known costs to our physical health and professional productivity, sleep deprivation slashes our chances of boosting our EQ, so much so that the rest of the habits we're about to cover will amount to very little without consistent, adequate rest. So just as you make sure to charge your devices overnight so they can function their best the following day, prioritize recharging your own irreplaceable mind and body. Before we continue, if you are interested in this topic, please consider subscribing and give us a thumb up. Let's continue. Know thyself. We can all appreciate that IQ is distinct from EQ, but we might not realize they differ in more ways than one. For example, unlike EQ, IQ is a relatively fixed measure. Another common misconception is that there's a connection between the two. Those with high IQs don't always have high EQs, nor will they always be entirely devoid of people smarts. Our IQ and EQ are simply 2 pieces of the puzzle that make us us. The third and final piece is our personality. Like IQ, the cluster of traits that inform our personality takes shape in childhood and remains relatively stable throughout adulthood. Many emotionally intelligent individuals live by the age-old maxim, know thyself, so let's take a look at 2 influential personality characteristics. See if you can spot yourself in them, and consider how this extra clarity could be used to unlock more success in your home and work lives. First, the Type A/Type B trait. Nobel Prize-winning writer Edith Wharton offers a poetic way of depicting these 2 types. There are 2 ways of spreading light, to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. Type As are the candles, and work with such intensity that they burn at both ends. Type Bs are the mirrors, and while they can spread just as much light, they don't define themselves solely by this metric. A similar dichotomy is seen in the extrovert/introvert trait. While studies from the Wharton School have shown that 2/3 of us describe ourselves as ambiverts, people who display both introversion and extroversion, we still lean ever so slightly toward one end or the other. If you often feel bored, you likely tend toward extroversion and will benefit from external stimuli to increase your energy. If, on the other hand, you frequently feel overwhelmed, you probably reside closer to introversion and will function best when external stimuli are minimized. Ultimately, all aspects of personality exist on a continuum, And we're all capable of aligning with either end from time to time. In fact, the ability to adapt to context and setting is a strong indicator of emotional intelligence. Still, we each have defaults. Being conscious of where yours is, and being able to hypothesize where those around you lie, becomes somewhat of a superpower, gifting you with highly nuanced insight. Let your body talk. Amy Cuddy is a psychologist at Harvard. It's an esteemed position, yes, but one not secured by textbook intelligence. In fact, after a car accident damaged her brain and knocked 30 points from her IQ, Cuddy's intelligence today is only deemed average by traditional measures. Despite these formidable setbacks, Cuddy completed college and enrolled in graduate school at Princeton. Along the way, Cuddy noticed her success was due more to her ability to employ and decode physical subtext than exceptional brain smarts. As a result, she's dedicated her career to researching positive body language. Positive body language describes postures and physical mannerisms that make the individual displaying them feel more competent, and others view this person as influential and likable. Here are 3 ways to start enjoying this powerful cocktail of perception. First, strike the right balance of eye contact. We've all experienced a painfully awkward conversation where the other party stares back without chaptering or looks everywhere but our face. Save others from the squirm and aim for about 7 to 10 seconds when you're talking, and a little longer when you're listening. Then, listen actively. Small things, leaning toward the person you're talking to, nodding as you follow their thought process, and asking relevant, probing questions, have big payoffs. If you've ever been on the receiving end of an engaged listener, you know how great it is to feel seen and heard. On the flip side, someone who constantly checks the clock or their phone makes you feel boring and unimportant. Finally, use gestures effectively. Mirroring the body language of those you're talking to is a great example. This acts as a subconscious signal that you and your counterparts share a bond. Open, expansive gesturing implies power and that you have nothing to hide. Keep these movements appropriate to the context and setting, but don't be afraid to take up a little space. Emotional intelligence is largely defined by the ability to constructively communicate thoughts and feelings, as well as accurately read the thoughts and feelings of others. And UCLA studies have shown that 55% of human communication is expressed physically, as opposed to through word choice and vocal tone. In short, body language is really your mother tongue. Conquer conflict before it conquers you. Remember how we said that emotionally intelligent people aren't exempt from arguments, disconnection, or relationship-borne stress? It doesn't always seem this way from the outside. But in reality, they simply handle these encounters better, and their ability to do so rewards them tenfold. Not only are those who overcome discord with poise seen as more trust and respect-worthy, but research from Columbia University found that this skill set can determine how far professionals advance in their careers. Our response to conflicts exists on a continuum marked passive at one end and aggressive at the other. Assertive sits in the central sweet spot and is the key to managing conflict like a boss, even if you aren't one. Here are 3 straight-talking strategies to cultivate assertiveness and elevate your EQ. First, don't buy into the myth that passivity is productive. Often, the long-term repercussions of remaining silent far outweigh the short-term discomfort of speaking up. Mentally running through both scenarios can act as a powerful litmus test when you feel unsure. Then, if you do decide to make a challenge, be sure to suggest a solution too. Nothing has more potential to kill a relationship than unconstructive condemnation or criticism. Instead, try framing your counter like this: I sense we could have an issue with, insert specific problem, but if we, insert specific solution, your idea could work. Another clever language hack lies in using and in place of but. For instance, say your spouse wants to splurge on a decadent weekend away, but you're hyper-conscious of your savings goals. Turn this potential disagreement into a discussion by replying, I see you want to enjoy a weekend away, and I'd like to see us meet our savings goal. Changing one small word might not seem like much, but it can turn problem-solving from a competition into a team sport. It would be nice to think that once we reach a certain EQ threshold, we cease to meet conflict ever again. Unfortunately, this isn't the case. Emotionally intelligent humans are still humans, after all. That said, these strategies can go a long way to making your human experience a little more divine. Prize balance. We all know Arianna Huffington as the co-founder of the Huffington Post. Few know she almost lost an eye while working as its editor-in-chief. Burned out from giving everything to her job, Huffington passed out one day and broke her cheekbone. She later came to, finding herself in a pool of blood and in need of 4 stitches on her eye. Reflecting on this close call, Huffington said, "Not only is there no trade-off between living a well-rounded life and high performance, performance is actually improved when our lives include time for renewal, wisdom, wonder, and giving." High EQ scorers enjoy summiting the peaks of success at work, but they never push the climb to the point where it costs them their life outside. Like Huffington, they recognize it's a false dichotomy. If you start to notice your health, integrity, or sanity nosediving, it's imperative you hit pause and take stock. At these times, stopping and reassessing are often the last things we feel like doing, but emotionally intelligent individuals know it's a price worth paying. Here are 2 evidence-based ways to get yourself back to balance ASAP. During your workday, take regular breaks religiously. The Drogium Group observed that productivity is very much a case of quality over quantity. More hours don't necessarily equal better outcomes for your performance or well-being. In fact, a cycle of 52 minutes on and 17 minutes off is ideal. Further, having a chat, opening a book, or taking a short stroll were discovered to be the best uses of a break. Don't wait to pass out at your desk. Schedule rest as you would any other work commitment. Once you clock off for the day, turn your full attention to family and friends. It's easy to withdraw when workplace stress piles up, but that's one of the worst things you can do. While it's fantastic to identify with your profession, you don't want to identify only as such. Spending time with significant others is a powerful reminder that growth and satisfaction can, and should, be found elsewhere. And as with any discussion around self-improvement and life optimization, don't lose sight of the forest for the trees. Ultimately, these EQ-raising strategies are a means to an end. The end is a successful, deeply fulfilling life at work and at home. That's the end of today's sharing. If you like our content, please give us a thumb up and share it with your friends. See you next time.